This is the third ever live PFTPM Chris Simms Unbuttoned Picks podcast here from the legendary. Let me hear you. We're going to have some fun over the next hour or so. We're going to get you ready for the game. We have all sorts of different angles to discuss. We have to make our picks. We've been playing a game with each other about who we like and who we don't like because season long, we're separated by one game. Think about that. 272 regular season games.
Yep.
Every postseason game.
Right.
I'm one game ahead of him, so he has a chance to tie me
right.
if we pick different teams and he's right and I'm wrong.
That's right. And do I think he's a sandbagging son of a bitch and just pick the same team I will just to win? I do.
I'll do mine first.
I'll
do mine first.
I do.
I'll do mine first.
So you know, I am very
He accuses me of cheating all the time. Most of the time he's wrong. So, thanks, Ollie, for coming out. We know you got plenty of other things you could be doing. We're glad you're here with us, and we're going to have some fun. So, you got anything to talk about? We usually...
Yeah.
By the way,
there's
yes.
a few things we got to do.
There will be questions. There's a microphone in the audience. We'll take questions throughout the course of the show. Allie's got the microphone wherever Allie is. Allie's right here. She's got the microphone. So we will take your questions.
Don't be afraid to
we will tell the truth in response.
I just, and we'll get it done. Okay? We'll get her done. Also, too, there's some other things here. All right? Matt Casey, producer. People want to know who these people are we talk about all the time.
Good call.
All right? That guy right there, right? He makes it all happen. Bam. All right? That's the Godfather. All right? All right. The other person. People want to know where Pete is, right?
Where's Pete? There's Pete.
There's Pete. There he is.
Pete, tell those kids
That's Pete. All right, everybody? Cackle, cackle, cackle. See, you're going to learn tonight. You're going to see. All right. That's Pete. Who else we missing? We want to let know that's a part of the show. James Kaminsky comes up in conversation a lot as our number one crazy, irrational Jets fan, right? That works at NBC. He can ruin NBC Sundays sometimes because the Jet game goes negatively most times. And it goes off the rails. Off the rails. He's almost as emotional as me as a human being, which is scary because we sit 2 seats away.
Or when he loses the mortgage on whatever he's betting on, Jaguars-Titans game.
Right.
He's really excited about that Jaguars-Titans game for some reason on a Week 16.
Exactly.
And we got Mackenzie working the camera here, hopefully catching all of it. Allie's got the microphone again. She's got the questions when you have questions. And let's get to it. All
right, let's go.
We've been here all week. We've been doing PFT Live from Radio Row. We'll be back there again Thursday and Friday. But it's a great chance to kind of get out of here, get out of that building, and have a little fun. So there is a football game on Sunday between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles for the second time in 3 years. I know people have Chiefs fatigue. Do you have Chiefs fatigue?
I do not have Chiefs fatigue at all. I don't. I enjoy greatness, all right? There's been some greatness in my life I don't really like. But even looking back at it now, I grew up hating the 49ers' greatness, but knew, wow, it was great while I was watching it, right? They made me cry on some Sundays, and I was like, oh, my gosh, Joe Montana, I can't stand them, right, with what they did to my dad and the Giants at times. But at the same time, I knew I was watching something special, and I can appreciate that. So I do not have Chiefs fatigue. But the other crazy thing about this is my appreciation for the Eagles and the roster and the team. That's the other weird thing about this matchup. The Chiefs are already a dynasty, right? And it's 5 out of 6, and what they're doing is phenomenal. But the Philadelphia Eagles are like, in my opinion, one of the best teams and rosters you've seen in football in a long, long time. I call them the Supers team all the time. They're incredible. It's the best O-line in football. The 2 best receivers as a combination in football. It's the best running back in football. You guys, if you listen to the show, you'll hear me. It's the best D-line in football. It's a top 5 secondary. It's good linebackers. It's just there's no weakness. But this team is crazy, this team in red, and they don't care. And that's what's amazing. They're literally like, so? What? Our coaches are smart, and watch out because we got him at quarterback, and it's going to get scary if it's close. And that's what they do, and that's why they're amazing, and this is why it's the clash of the Titans.
Right. It's the 3rd straight year where the Chiefs' opponent on paper is better than they are.
Right.
And the last 2 times, the Chiefs have won. And the
Exactly.
question is, this time around,
Right.
toughest opponent they faced
Right.
in any of their Super Bowls, really.
I think it's the most talented team they've played in any of their Super Bowls.
And
right,
this Chiefs
right.
team, even though they won 15 regular season games, they don't seem to be as potent and as explosive
No.
as they've been in past years.
No. They honestly seem like they're almost content playing a style of football that I've seen a few teams play, through the history of football. The Seattle Seahawks did this for a little while, where they just were like, let's keep the game close with our defense, and Russell will outclutch you late, right? They were a little like that. That's what Kansas City has done, but it's on steroids and HGH and a bunch of other things with it together, right? It's just they figure out how to way to win it every game. And you guys have heard my comments on they might not control the game, but they control the moments. And I just have never seen a team do what they're doing right now. Just over and over, they never dominated a game really the whole year. And here they are in the Super Bowl. It's just rare to say that a Super Bowl team that went 15-2, really 16-1, right? Whatever. You know what I'm saying? That they didn't dominate one game all year, but they just win it. And then that's what's scary to your point and what we're talking about.
The only game that was close to it was the Christmas Day game against the Steelers,
You're right.
29-10.
That was the biggest
But
blowout.
they have
You're
won
right.
every game they've tried to win since Christmas Day of 2023.
Yeah.
Every game they've tried to win, they've won, except one.
Right.
Against Buffalo.
Yep.
And they've won 17 straight one-score games. And I think that's the key to playing the Chiefs. To beat the Chiefs, you've got to destroy the Chiefs. It can't just be a close game, because if it's a close game, the Chiefs are going to find a way. That's the general consensus, proven out by their past Super Bowl championships.
It's real. It's not a theory, a mystery, an urban legend. I don't care who you talk to in football. When they're getting ready to play the Chiefs, they just go, we think we can hang with them, right? I'll talk to coaches or players. They'll all say that. We think we can hang with them. But it's just, if he gets the ball last, it's just... it's hard. You just know, oh man, here we go. So that's to your point of what you keep saying about same jersey colors as last time, deja vu all over again.
There we go.
I like it. Red shorts guy. He brought his red shorts because he's a Chiefs fan. But that's to your point, is that all those things all over a game, and the Chiefs are literally like, wait, is this a clutch moment? Are we playing in a high-pressure game? This is not my blood's not even boiling. This is no big deal. And that's so scary about the Chiefs, in my opinion.
Tom Brady was able to do that. Tom Brady, the only guy that's beaten Patrick Mahomes in a Super Bowl, and he beat him in a playoff game, Joe Burrow as well. But the Chiefs have been down 10 points in the second half of every Super Bowl they've won. They were down 10 points with 7 minutes left against the 49ers. And it was looking like it was definitely a 49ers win, and the Chiefs found a way. So you've got to kill the Chiefs to beat the Chiefs.
That's right.
Let's focus on when the Chiefs have the ball.
Right.
When the Chiefs have the football, one of the big concerns, and I want to start with number 98 for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Right.
He was sick today. The illness for Jalen Carter presumably will resolve by Sunday.
Yeah.
How do the Chiefs keep Jalen Carter from wrecking their offense?
Right. Well, Andy Reid is the O-line savant, magician, right? O-line whisperer. He is that. That's where I look at the Chiefs, and that's why they're scary in these big games, because he can figure things like that out. But anybody that listens to my podcast, anybody that listens to our show, is always Jalen Carter is a freak show. He is a freak show. He is definitely one of the 2 or 3 best defensive players in the NFL. It's not, I don't think, we've been on Radio Row all week. We probably had 20 NFL players talk to us, maybe more. And of maybe the 10 we've asked, Jalen Carter has come up in some way when you talk about the Eagles. That's how good he is. He will the play up. Okay?
It's an official stat from the Elias Sports Bureau.
I just look it up. It's official. But it needs to be. It really does. It's ridiculous. But he will the play up. And they have Caliendo, the weak link, right, where if it becomes obvious passing situations, those are where it becomes they can dictate the situation, the Eagles defense, and find ways to line the defense up in a way where no matter what you do, Caliendo is one-on-one with Freak Show. And Freak Show is just like, raw, get out of my way. Hi, Mahomes. Hello, Mahomes.
And here's where it gets interesting.
He
because
doesn't care.
One of the reasons that Mike Caliendo is playing left guard is because they kicked Joe Tooney out to left tackle because they're having issues at left tackle.
Right.
And at some point before the game, Andy Reid, the coach of the Chiefs, has said the expectation is to keep Joe Tooney at left tackle.
Yep.
I don't know whether that's a rope-a-dope, where they're going to maybe move Tooney inside.
We read into word language.
Exactly.
Right.
DJ Humphries, possibly. DJ Humphries, possibly at left tackle.
Right.
Or even Wanya Morris, if need be.
Yeah.
Tooney on the inside and Caliendo to the bench. They need to do something like that to neutralize Jalen Carter, who will be in Patrick Mahomes' face before he can process and get rid of the football.
That's going
to be the challenge. And that's one thing to look for. Will Tooney be at left tackle, or will they slip him inside and put him against Jalen Carter?
What would you guys do? I don't know. This is a tough question. I'd pose to anybody. The guy is one of the best pass-protecting guards in football. He's one of the few people where you can go, he actually might be able to block Jalen Carter one-on-one, mano-a-mano, and do it. But you might have such a deficiency on the outside because you keep him in his power spot that now every time Mahomes drops back, it's just somebody right here on his shoulder trying to, and he can't do anything. Or do you go, okay, the other route, which is scary too, right? But it's a defensive tackle, and sometimes we can find ways to get him stuck in a mosh pit to where he can't get where he needs to go and do all that. But at the same time, we're losing other advantages we've had, and now we can't run the ball, and maybe now we can't do some of the pass plays we want because we can't protect the same way that way too. And that's where I don't have the answer to that. That's a tough one, and that's why Andy Reid's making probably $18 million a year. And
assuming that Patrick Mahomes has time to pass the ball, and he'll find time because he runs around. And somebody told us this week, I can't remember who it was, but when the play begins to break down and Mahomes starts to go with the ball, hair on fire, first thing you do is get to Travis Kelce.
Right, sure.
Sometimes you get there, sometimes you don't.
Right.
But Travis Kelce is a guy who has a knack, just like Mahomes, for stepping up in big games and making things happen.
100%.
Beyond Travis Kelce, though, Tyreek Hill's long gone.
Right.
Rashee Rice is gone for the rest of the year.
Right.
You've got Xavier Worthy, the first-round pick, who has been, like Rice did last year, contributing down the stretch and getting better.
Right.
You have Hollywood Brown, who was injured for much of the season.
Yep.
He's making an impact. Is it enough for the two of them? You know, we said before the AFC Championship, Juju Smith-Schuster and DeAndre Hopkins are going to have to make a play at some point. Smith-Schuster made two big plays, a 31-yarder and a 29-yarder on touchdown drives.
Yep.
Hopkins had a catch. Do those guys need to be key parts of this passing game when it's time for Mahomes to find an open guy?
All right, here's two things real quick, all off that question that you've heard me say it, right? And, hey, you ready?
Ow.
Good?
Really?
There we go.
Thank you.
I had some requests to make sure every few minutes I hit you in the chest.
Thank
all right?
you.
And I thought that was appropriate. Either way,
I did not.
the Eagles, if they play, you said all the time to throw, 2.5 seconds, blah, 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 right? All that stuff. If they play zone defense, the Eagles, Mahomes is going to boom, 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 just like he did on the first drive against Buffalo, and just like he was about to do on the second drive against Buffalo when they fumbled the little exchange, right, with Pacheco. If he doesn't do that, and the Bills played zone that whole drive, he is going to surgically destroy them. It won't matter how quick Jalen Carter and all those other crazy are on defense, all right? It won't matter. But if they can find some coverages that makes Mahomes pat the ball, think a second, then that's where it comes. And that's, to me, again, my brains versus brawn theme of this matchup. It's the brains of Kansas City and their clutchness, and the Eagles that are just like, we do what we do and screw you, and like deal with it. And that's where, to me, this is fascinating, the matchup.
Well, we're talking about the Eagles running game because they clearly have the best running back in all of football on their side of the ball.
Right.
But for the Chiefs, Isaiah Pacheco, a guy who's capable of being a dangerous runner. He had the broken leg early in the season. He really hasn't popped since he came back. You've got Kareem Hunt, who's done a very good job in his second stint with the Chiefs. But we don't see much of a running game that is sustained, chew up yardage, get first downs. How important will that be for the Chiefs to maybe take a little steam out of the pass rush and hit 7, 8, 10 yards from time to time in the running game?
I played with a lot of coaches where it's the attempts are the most important thing, right? Running the ball, the attempts, stay patient, keep the defensive line that's frothing at the mouth to get it to the quarterback, to just have to like keep thinking about, oh wait, they keep running it. Oh wait, they keep running it, right? Do it almost to waste plays at time. Like, I know it's going to be 2nd and 9, but like, I can't just drop back every play or we're going to lose the game. And that's where Andy Reid, to me, it's another amazing thing about his coaching career where we never ran the ball, Andy Reid. We made fun of him. You Eagle guy over here with the Eagle hat knows, he was like, Andy Reid won't run the ball at some point in his life. Okay? He was like, he won't do that. And the Chiefs said that. And red Chiefs guys, short guys going by again.
He's doing laps.
And the wife's wearing the red.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay, I see you. See you later, crazy Chiefs fans. But either way, that's amazing that he's made that transition in his life, Andy Reid.
If you get these guys at the second level too, let's say Pacheco or Hunt pop one, now you got Zach Bond, who's gone from role player, back up with the Saints, first year with the Eagles, all pro. He's going to be in position to try to get those guys down on the ground and prevent a big run. So I don't know how much of the running game is even going to be a factor for the Chiefs.
That's what I mean. It's not. And your point was, too, who's the other guy that really comes out in the passing game, right? That was your original question to me. And you're right. It's going to be the attempts just to keep the Eagles honest in some ways. And then, to me, this is the Hollywood Brown game. This is the Hollywood Brown game where Xavier Worthy, they're going to get him touches. Kelce's going to have attention on him. They brought Hollywood Brown here for this game, and he's kind of looked good in the playoffs, and he was close to the divisional round, and he was better in the championship game. And if you made me bet on a guy that comes out of nowhere for the Chiefs in this game, I think it's going to be Hollywood Brown.
So bet the over on the Hollywood Brown.
That would be my guy. If you want to say. One more thing you brought up about and we got to talk about this too, is just the crazy that the Eagles have on the defensive line, right? Is that I saw the greatest running quarterback I've ever seen in my life couldn't run against them. He actually commented about after the game where his mom said, she's bad at me because I didn't try to run more. Remember Lamar fan? Ravens, right? Okay, Ravens guy. Derrick Henry's back there. You see him? Right? I know. Yep, he's a little out of shape, but that's him, I'm telling you. But either way, all right? Either way, he is the greatest I've ever seen, right? I've been on the field with Michael Vick. It's Michael or Lamar is the greatest you've ever seen. He couldn't run. He had a hard time running in that game away from the Eagles. The Eagles, even with like your big play run, scrambles, a lot of things you see other teams do against other teams, those lanes close up. Jaden Daniels is a good runner. I don't remember a lot of good runs in the NFC Championship game. There was, a moment here and there, but it wasn't the game. And the Eagles are fast and big, and that's what's incredible about them.
And that's the concern I have. We see Patrick Mahomes kind of strategically and surgically run from time to time. We see him run around behind the line of scrimmage. But the time he lost in the Super Bowl, it was when, now, he was injured with the toe that needed surgery just a few days after the game.
Yeah,
but
still made magic.
He was swallowed up by the Tampa Bay pass rush. That's going to be a key. Let's get a question or two before we continue to break the game down. Allie's got the microphone. Give us your name, tell us where you're from, and then ask us the question.
Good evening, gentlemen. My name is David Benedict. I'm a local from New Orleans, and welcome to New Orleans.
Thank you so much.
Greatest Super Bowl location in America.
Yes.
All right.
I can get behind that.
All right. I just have a couple of quick questions, an Eagles question, a Chiefs question, and then the ultimate question. First, the Eagles question. If Saquon Barkley gets 100 yards, do the Eagles win? If he rushes for 100 yards.
Okay, I think that 100 yards isn't the magic number. I think you let him rush for 100 yards. The key is to keep him under 150.
We've talked about this,
Keep him under 150.
Right.
Force the Eagles to throw the ball.
Right.
Trust your offense to gain yardage and score points. 100 yards is fine. You get toward 150, you got a problem.
Right. I think he's right. He's in the right ballpark. Right. Even if he ran for like 120, I'd be like, that's not the worst for the Chiefs. Now, let's not forget the Chiefs have gone 18 consecutive games without letting up a 100-yard rusher. Again, incredible, right? So, to that point, that's where we get into other things, but I'll leave that for another minute or time. Go ahead with your second question.
Chiefs question.
Yeah.
If the Eagles are successful in taking Travis Kelce out of the ball game in terms of shutting him down, can the receiver step up and make the plays so they can win?
Well, and that's the thing that I wrestle with all the time. It's an excellent question. You've got Xavier Worthy and you've got Hollywood Brown. Those are going to be the primary options. I think in a game like this, especially for DeAndre Hopkins, who's been waiting his entire career for this moment, I expect him to have an impact. I expect plays to be designed for him.
Yeah,
I expect him to get chances to. He doesn't have the speed that he used to, but he never relied on speed. It was catch radius, great hands, get the ball on a key third down, extend a drive. I think he's going to be important. And if Travis Kelce's taken out of the game, don't forget about Noah Gray. He's had his moments too. He's the number 2 tight end.
100.
And Juju Smith-Schuster as well.
Right.
Those are guys that I think are going to have to step up. And it's going to be for Mahomes. And this is one of the great things about this team. They're completely unselfish. No one wants the ball.
No.
They wait for Patrick Mahomes to decide that it's time for them to get the ball, and he'll take the ball to the open guy. But if Kelce's not open, he'll find somebody else. Will they make the catch? Will they get open? That's the key.
I agreed with that. What he said with their culture and what they are as a football team and organization, it's the coolest place to go to in football, in my opinion. They've all heard me say it 100 times because of the way they act, and I've been there a bunch. They love football there in Kansas City, so they're not going to worry about that. The other guy that comes up, I just brought up Hollywood Brown a minute ago. I think this is his game here, and I think that, like I was saying before, if the Eagles just play zone, I think everybody's going to get the ball because Mahomes is just going to be like, great. Oh, it's this coverage? Boom. Oh, it's that coverage? Boom. And we're all going to sit there and go, Mahomes was 7 for 7 on that drive for 63 yards, and they're up 7-0.
You've mentioned that a couple times, though. Do you think they won't play zone?
I worry because Vic Fangio, they're stubborn in what they do, the Eagles. And it works every game for how many games in a row now? 15 out of 16, 16 out of 17? So even in games where I complain about it and I go, well, they still won. They did what they did. They had maybe a few moments of doing what I say to do. I would like to see it more, and this might be the game where they have to do it more or they're going to lose. And that's, to me, another thing to watch in the game. As not the first drive because everybody's conservative. The second drive, look how the Eagles are doing. Are they in their face playing man-to-man, doing that? Then that tells you they're like, forget our normal stuff. We don't trust it against this guy. It's not going to happen. And that's where it can get interesting.
Now he's got the ultimate question. What's
the ultimate question is, if the Chiefs are successful in winning a thrilling game at the wire, Travis Kelce drops down on one knee and proposes to Taylor Swift.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Who will retire first, Andy Reid, Travis Kelce, or Mike Florio?
Oh, that's good. I will not comment on my potential retirement. As I've said before, it will happen without warning. When you least expect it, expect it. I think Travis Kelce retires before Andy Reid. And I know Travis Kelce has said he intends to come back next year. He's under contract for another year. But he's already making more money off the field than he is playing football. He's got a career that is blossoming in the entertainment world. His podcast has a 9-figure deal with Amazon. I wouldn't be surprised if they win the third in a row, he changes his mind. And the circumstances are different. I've done everything I can do in football. It's time for me to spend 12 months a year on all these other things where he can make so much more money. Executive producer of films,
I hear you.
Actor, all these other business interests. So I think it's far more likely if they win that Kelce's done than anybody else, including me.
Travis is an action junkie, though, so it could go the other way. And he's like, oh, let's play again. Let's go. They love football, that family. I'll be interested to see what he does, but I think everything Mike said is certainly, on the table.
All right, Phil.
Yeah.
Phil. Thank you. Phil, the Giants fan over there, has a question for Phil Simms.
Oh, okay. His name is Phil?
No, you're Phil.
Oh, I'm Phil. That's right, because he called me Phil. Yeah.
How you doing?
What up, big guy?
So
Where
being
you
a
from?
Giants
Where you
fan,
from?
I'm from the West Bank, Bellchase, Louisiana,
Okay.
right across the river.
Okay, and you're a Giants fan?
Lawrence Taylor, man.
All right.
1991.
I got you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible.
So, being a Giants fan, we know the Eagles are going to lose come Sunday. But if they were to win,
Right.
what would they need to do?
well,
Number one thing.
Number one thing, I think, is that's a good question. If you just had to boil it down to one thing, I think it's all right. Here's my number one thing, without a doubt. He's heard me say it a few times already. Jalen Hurts will have to audible at the line of scrimmage 5 to 6 times. And I know right now you're like, oh, because you don't really know my show and you're just here asking a question, but I'm just you gotta listen to me when I'm saying for a second.
6 times a lot of audibles.
They have to. Here's why I would say that, okay? And these people here who listen to the show have already heard this to a degree, but they are playing a team that will go all out on a situation and go, we'll blitz everybody on 3rd and 4 or 1st and 10. And all of a sudden they'll be 2nd and 17, and now you're going, oh, the Chiefs are so lucky the refs are calling a penalty again on the Eagles, and we sit there and complain like little babies about it, but yet they do stuff like that, and it's 2nd and 17, and as football fan, it's not a way to a positive recipe to succeed. And that's where anybody that's heard me talk about the Eagles, and I get talked about as a Jalen Hurts hater and all that crap, where it's just like, no, these are things that just have to go down on a successful team, because there's going to be one team that's going to call your bluff on some of the stuff you do, and you're going to need the quarterback to get that get out of jail free card, right? Yeah. That's going to go, wait, the coach, he told me about if they do this, we're screwed. Let me do this now and get to this play. And he did that a little last game, and to me, that's a big part of the game. It really is. I've been saying it for a few weeks.
Well, and Chris, here's where the Chiefs, I think, have become very adept on defense. And this happened in the key play, the last play on offense for the Buffalo Bills. They were facing 4th and 5.
Yep.
And the Chiefs gave them a look that was identical to a look they had seen multiple times throughout the game, but they did something different off of that look. They blitzed Trent McDuffie, got him in Josh Allen's face.
Exactly right.
Hurried up the play.
Right.
He had to backpedal and throw it away. Well, throw it down the field up for grabs, and it was almost caught.
Yeah.
But this
Miracle
is going to be
play.
about the alignment of the defense, confusing Jalen Hurts.
Yes.
Getting to maybe audible into a play he shouldn't audible into.
Exactly.
That's where the cat and mouse games comes into play.
The
and that's
brains
why it's
versus
so
bronze
critical
again.
over these 2 weeks,
Right.
studying everything that the other team did offensively, studying everything you've done defensively. What have we shown? What can we do differently out of what we've done in the past
that's
at the
where the
right
Chiefs are
moment, at the
masterful.
right time,
They're masterful.
and screw up the quarterback's head
Yes.
and get the ball back or get a big sack, stop a
Exactly.
drive.
Right.
That's going to be the key. Can Jalen Hurts spot when that thing that no one expects is
You're
coming?
not going to spot it every time. You're not. But that's part of the reason when you talked about Brady beating them and why Joe Brady beat him. Joe Burrow, sorry. You know what I meant. Either way.
They know who we mean.
Either way, you got to be able to recognize someone. You're not. Spags is going to trick everybody, right? He tricked Brady in the Super Bowl against the Giants the first time around. He tricks everybody.
He knows about it.
So yeah, you just got to every now and then be able to go, wait, I've been tricked once or twice. I'm not an idiot. I got this one. And make a few plays, or just limit the damage. And that's where the Chiefs are special. They are special because they have good players and they are smart as hell.
Giants fan has another question.
Okay, Phil.
Last question. Next year, tush push, legal or not legal?
Say that again?
Tush push, next year, legal or not legal?
It's not going away. There's no movement to change it.
Legal.
There's no movement to change
Plus,
it.
we're starting.
It's
We see
gotta
teams
stop, man.
it.
It's
Wait,
gotta
this is
stop.
what everybody's got to realize. We see other teams can't do it, but the Eagles are the biggest, best offensive line we've maybe ever seen. That's what people are not giving credit to right now.
Oh,
it's one of the
they're great,
best
no doubt.
ever.
Oh, absolutely.
So we just got to deal. We can't be like, well, they're so good at it, take it away. That's not. They have Barry Sanders. Make him sit on the bench. That's not fair.
Oh.
You know what
And
I
here's
mean?
the
Like,
key.
this is what they do. That's what they're great at. Man up somebody in the NFL and get it done and stop it.
This is why it's so important. Whether you call it the tush push, the brotherly shove, Jalen Hurts just wants to call it the quarterback sneak. When you can do it as well as they do it,
Right.
it's never 1st and 10. It's 1st and 8.
Yeah, you've said that. Right.
Because if you get to 4th and 2, you're going to get it. 4th and 1, you're definitely going to get it.
Yep.
And it's a shock when they stop them. And they have compiled the players who can do it. It's fair for everyone else. Prioritize your interior offensive line.
Right.
Get yourself a mechanism of players that can make it happen. Practice it. It hurts the players. They don't like it, but they're committed to it. 1st and 8 is much better than 1st and 10.
They're a deadly team that way.
Our
They're
good friend
a
from
deadly team.
all the way from Spain
Wow.
has a
look
question.
At them. Look at them.
Yeah, from Madrid, Spain. I hope my English is good enough. If not, I will blame you because you've ruined my English.
Don't listen to me on the English language. All right?
I've improved it.
I
You
blame
know
you.
that. But yeah, I'll make you cool. So just keep listening to me. All right?
Chris, my question is for you and you both.
Yeah.
about Patrick, I mean, I think he's gotten to the point where he knows everything, the pre-snap reads, the protections, every trick the defense may post, and he's gotten to that point before his physical decline even started. I don't think there's a case like that in the NFL. You know a lot of cases. What do you think? I mean, I remember listening to Brady, I think with Peter King saying, I want to keep playing because at 40, I know everything. I know before the play what the defense is going to do. He was in his 40s.
You think Mahomes is there right now with that?
I think his
Right.
Brady is,
Right.
but before turning 30, in terms of the knowledge of the game, what do you think?
Well, and it's an excellent point. For a guy who covers soccer, he knows his football.
He's not
well
bad.
done.
Well, he's listening
Thanks
a
to
couple
you
of years
because
ago-
he's listening to us. I hope he's learning
That's the
something.
best way to learn it.
Correct.
Maybe not the right way, but you're still going to learn it. A couple of years ago, we heard Patrick Mahomes talking about how he wants to get to the point where Tom Brady was,
Right.
where he's seen everything, where he knows when he walks up to the line what's going to happen. And you know what's happened over the last 2 seasons? He never says that. You know why he doesn't say it?
Yeah.
Because he's there.
He's getting good at it.
He's there. And he's there before 30.
Right.
He'll have his skills
Right.
at the current level for 5-6 more years.
Yep.
And then he'll figure out how to change his game when he can't move like he currently does.
Yeah.
He'll adjust. He'll adapt. So, yes, that's a huge difference. And that's why we look at the Eagles as the much better team. But 15 is going to find a way.
He
and
always
15 is
adapts.
going to know what's there.
Right.
And he's going to know what you're going to do.
Right.
And he's going to be ready to go. And he's chasing history in 2 ways. 3 in a row, which no one has ever done.
Right.
At the Super Bowl level, Packers fans hate that. We won 3 in a row in the 60s. It wasn't
Right.
the Super Bowl, so sit down.
Yeah.
3 Super Bowls in a row, and trying to catch Tom Brady with 7. That's the other thing that is driving him at this point.
No, we've already watched him make an adjustment in front of our eyes. That's why he's amazing. You know, we know Tom Brady's the GOAT. Okay, we got that. But like for the first 7-year GOAT award, there's nobody better than Patrick Mahomes. This is insane. What we're watching, it's insane. Like, oh, okay, I just go to the Super Bowl or the AFC Championship game every year. And we're like, oh, okay, yeah. The greatest team sport in the world, they try to make it even, and it's not even. That's weird. And then we all know they started their career with bombs away, right? And then, like, Bobby Boucher stopped blitzing. Okay? You see Bobby over there? He stopped blitzing, and they were like, well, we can't blitz anymore.
He's not drinking water, though.
Water.
Bobby's not drinking
And, like,
water.
the team started to play zone like the Bucks did, and he evolved from that point in front of our eyes. We talked about it on the show a million times at that point where they were a big play team. He still wanted the big play, but he wasn't mature enough to just do this, and teams have kind of figured that out. And he figured that out, and now they're the most patient, like, they don't make big plays or fun that way anymore. I mean, you guys remember when he came into the league, it was bombs to Tyreek every play, and it was just wow. And now it's just like 6, 5, 8, 20, 4, 5, and that's where he's changed in front of us.
Confidence, knowing what's coming,
Right.
knowing how to get down the field, and
Yep.
ultimately getting the points.
Right.
And the only stat that matters to the Chiefs is points scored versus points allowed.
Right.
That's how they keep wins and losses. He can do it with 150 passing yards. He can do it with 350 passing yards. He'll do whatever he has to do. You got anything else?
Quick thing, Simms, you're the man.
Yep.
And Florio, if your publicist says that you didn't sell a book in Spain, he's lying to you.
I got at least one.
At
We
least
have
one.
book sale
At
in
least
Spain.
one, Mike.
That's good.
Thanks, you guys.
Well done. Thank you, buddy.
Kind of
So,
wanted to hear
we've
him say a
talked about-
swear word to you.
When the Chiefs...
I wanted to hear him say a swear word to you and then say sorry London after.
Okay.
I
Well,
thought it would have been kind of
maybe he
cool.
will
Like,
later.
like the Spanish guy says F you Florio and then says sorry London.
or sorry, Madrid.
Right, that would have been amazing.
Or Barcelona.
I mean, we dropped the ball right there. That was our moment.
Okay. We've been talking about the Chiefs with the football. Just let's pivot to the Eagles
Yeah.
when they have the ball.
Yeah, you're
Because
right.
the biggest
Right.
challenge will be, and continues to be for anyone who faces this team with Saquon Barkley at
Yeah.
running back, how do you keep him from destroying you? We talked earlier about 100 yards won't matter. It's the home runs, and it's 150 or more. How do you keep that from happening if you're the Kansas City Chiefs defense?
The Chiefs are the ultimate at stopping this kind of stuff. That would be the first thing that just pops to your mind. You know me. You've heard me rattle off all the times where we were like, I don't know, can they stop this team from running? And they stop them. We talked about the 18 consecutive games. They got guys on the outside that can cover, and they got a brainiac in Spagnuolo. So that's where it is amazing. But we've seen nobody be able to just physically stand up to the Eagles in the run game play after play after play all year. And that's why you guys have heard me all say, like, it's the best offensive line in the history of football. It's that good. It's not getting the credit it deserves. It has 3 run plays, and they literally are like, up yours, here's 3 plays, you can't stop it, deal with it. And that's where the Chiefs, the middle of their defense, Spagnuolo, they're so not only creative, but they're disciplined in that approach. And then their tactical blitzes, chances they might have to take are going to be crucial. And that's where I get back to my Jalen Hurts audibles and a little bit of that. And that's why I keep saying that, because I think it's such a big part of this football game.
So he's got to spot the situations where the Chiefs are loading up to try to stop Saquon, and then call a different play that takes advantage of whatever opening is going to be there when the defense moves to commit.
Waste plays, right? That's what any good offensive coach would have ever told me. John Gruden, Josh McDaniels, don't waste plays. It's hard to beat. You're not going to beat the Chiefs if you're in 2nd and 12 all game. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So you got to limit the destruction in those plays, or find ways to go, oh my gosh, we got them. They're in this, they're doing this, I can't believe it. And we've been talking about getting to this play, like the first play of the game against the Commanders when he audibled and got the toss sweep to Saquon Barkley.
And night-night.
And they just need a few of those moments. A few of those moments would have won the last game. And now that's going to be the difference in this game, in my opinion.
All right, our Saints fan over here has a question for us.
Alvin Kamara.
Question time.
Hey, I'm Kyle Johnson from Biloxi, Mississippi. I've got a broader NFL question. One of the biggest changes since back in my day of watching football has
What's your
been,
date? 2010?
Born in 94.
Yeah.
About the time you were litigating, maybe? I don't know.
like it.
Anyway, it's been the use of wide receiver motions.
Right.
Feels like it was,
Yeah.
your typical X, go up the field. When I was younger, not a lot of movement. And it has shifted towards, it's a lightning rod in the NFL of that being in most offenses. What's the next thing that you could see being that big wrinkle that could potentially change the way NFL games are played?
Yeah. Okay. That's a good one.
That's a good one.
You really made some great things, because you're spot on, first of all. We grew up in an era, I'm still a guy that, like, I was telling you before, I go back and watch old games of my dad at times, right? It stands still. The world changed, though, like, I'm going to say mid-2000s, between Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Sean Payton, John Gruden, what they were doing, and all the shifts and motions and the advantages you could get. You're right, just went to another level. And that's where it became a passing league, and it almost became impossible to stop certain plays and everything like that. Defenses have learned, teams have learned how to draft and get players that fit to stop that more, right? That's the thing. We're seeing linebackers now that used to be safeties in the old NFL. What? He's a linebacker? He's 220? Right? Linebackers in our day were not 220. Like the Giants and the Giants linebackers were 255 in the day, right? That was the Patriots even in their prime. That's what they were. So the league made an adjustment there on the defensive side of the ball, and I think you're watching the adjustment right now. Why do you think we're talking about the guy you got the jersey on right now and running backs and physical football again? That's why you're seeing guys that run play-action football, and you're starting to see offensive line coaches be interviewed for offensive coordinator jobs, because they're going, wait, all these teams got small and fast and worried about the pass game, and it's hard to deal with all this crazy fast out here in the chaos. Let's just beat the shit out of them again with big people. And that's where Detroit and Philadelphia and the 49ers and Christian McCaffrey, right, and the run game, they got into that, and that's where we're at right now, and that's why the running game and the running back is back in vogue again.
You don't need better schemes if you have better players.
Exactly.
Or talk about the Saquon Barkley runs.
Right.
You can tell him what you're going to do, and the holes that he gets are enormous, because those offensive linemen are blasting the guys out of the way. Even if they know it's coming, That's the thing. It's still a physical, violent game. It's a test of wills. And if you have better players, if you've accumulated and developed better players,
or have that
you don't
advantage
need to
in
do that
some
other
way
stuff.
that's so tough,
You don't need
right.
to create an advantage with speed motion,
Right.
like what we see. They call it cheat motion too. You don't
Exactly.
need that.
Like
you just
the
line up
Eagles.
and you go.
They just are like, yeah, so we're going to run it here, right? And they're like,
They can come up and say, here we go. It's going to be a run right here.
Right.
Good luck stopping it.
Yeah.
And you can't stop it.
Exactly.
We got another question.
Exactly.
Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm
Yo,
Big
yo.
Mike.
Yo.
I'm from New Orleans. My question is, what do you think the Chiefs secondary have to do to stop A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith from having a huge game, especially if the Chiefs succeed in stopping Saquon Barkley early in the game?
right.
That's
right.
an excellent question because I've been
No
thinking
doubt.
about how they're going to deploy Trent McDuffie.
Did you say Big Ben?
Big Mike.
He's
Mike.
Big Mike.
Okay.
I'm Little Mike.
Okay. Hey, little Mike. How you doing, man? There's a lot of things I could say there, but we'll just keep going.
Please
with
don't.
football. All right. Either way, Big Mike, that's like another cool thing about the game, right? The Chiefs are very good in the secondary. You heard me just waxing poetically about the Eagles, though. It's A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. If you think you're just going to sit there and play man-to-man on those two all games, like, they're freak shows. A.J. Brown is definitely one of the 3 best receivers in the game. If you saw him, you'd be like, oh, my gosh, that's A.J. Brown? Like, I didn't know people have muscles in their ears. Like, I mean, he's jacked, right? He's a specimen. That's why who he is. But that is where the Chiefs are going to have to find a way, and this is where you get into if Jalen Hurts plays the way he did in the NFC Championship games and makes big throws and hits the people that are there and sees the coverages the right way, the Eagles will be tough because the Chiefs are going to try to trick him. And what are they going to do? What would you do? Would you put McDuffie on Devontae Smith and double A.J. Brown? Or would you just go, you know what, I'm going to put my best player on A.J. Brown and McDuffie and then double Devontae Smith and use everybody else to go that way? That's going to be one of the things they do. I think they'll try to do it in this game in certain big situations, and that's where Jalen Hurts will have to be patient in the pocket and make sure he sees what he sees.
I definitely want
Right.
to shade coverage A.J. Brown and maybe put McDuffie on Devontae
you
Smith.
like the corner that you think is maybe better than the receiver and just take him out of the equation.
Yes.
And then use the rest of the army
on
to
A.J.
get on
Brown.
the guy.
When you're not trying
And
to,
they
trying
will
to
do
avoid
that.
getting put on your ass by the offensive line when they
Right.
get to the second level because
No,
they're
it has to
blocking
be
for
passing
Saquon Barkley.
situations,
Right.
and that's when they do that. But yeah, they're going to have to find ways. Let alone they're going to have to gamble sometimes and just go what they did in the first Super Bowl. No safeties in the middle of the field. Everybody stop the run. Blitz everybody. And you're like, it's 1st and 10 at the 50-yard line, and they're blitzing everybody to stop the run? Like there's nobody anywhere? And again, that's where I get into they have to take those chances if they want to win. But if Jalen recognizes them, it's big trouble, little China in that department. Right.
Former Saints coach Sean Payton said today that he thinks this game's going to come down to kicking. Now, if we agree with that, edge to the Kansas City Chiefs.
I would agree with
Harrison
that.
Butker, 4 field goals last year, including a Super Bowl record 57-yarder. And Jake Elliott from time to time. He's been steady most of the time, but from time to time this year.
This year has been shaky a little. Not the usual guy.
And so if it comes down to kicking, that means it's a close game. That means the Chiefs win. So if it comes down to kicking, the Chiefs win. Do you agree?
I would agree. I agree. I'm done picking against that. I mean, if it's one score in that way, I'm done. I'm not. There's no way. He's the clutchest guy I've ever seen. They know how to win these football games. I had too many other games where I've gone, this team's better, and they're going to win the game, right? And they're better. It's a better team. And then he still wins it. So, yes, if it's a one-score game, he's winning.
We're getting closer and closer to the point where we have to pick a winner.
I know.
Have you changed how many times have you changed your mind?
Man, last week I went back and forth like 2 or 3 times, but I settled in about, I'm going to say last Friday. I've really had a hard time because I don't want you to know. I've gone around Radio Row and told a few people. I've literally been like, don't tell Florio. Don't tell him. All right? I actually did one not far from me the other day, and I was like, so you wouldn't know. But we'll see where it goes.
I texted him on Friday saying, man, I'm really having a hard time
I don't
with this
even
game.
hear
And
that
he didn't
shit.
respond.
Because you were like psychologically, like that's where the lawyer in him. He's like,
No, I wasn't.
Let me read between his lines
No, I
and
wasn't.
see the tea leaves
No, I
will tell
wasn't.
me that he's.
I really have had a hard time with this, though,
It is
because
tough. It is
the
tough as ever.
talent, and we were talking about this earlier in the week. If you would go position by position for 22 players, the Eagles are better at 18 of them.
I mean, no less than 14 to 15. I think if we really got into
But
it.
the Chiefs are better at the key positions.
The Chiefs are exactly that, and not that less in some of those positions we talk about that you just go, oh, they're going to steamroll that guy, right? That's what I mean. It's not, again, even though I say brains and brawn, the Eagles do have brains. I'm not trying to disrespect them. And the Chiefs are one of the most underrated brawn teams ever. I mean, they bring it. And that's where, again, it's just another fascinating little nuance of the whole thing.
Big Mike on the mic has another question.
Yo. My second question isn't really about football at all. It's about the Big Easy, New Orleans. How do y'all like the atmosphere and Patos and the Hurricanes?
What?
I'm
I
trying
haven't
to
even done
go
the Hurricane yet, so
slowly
let me do
on
that.
the Hurricane. Let
I'm gonna
Chris
try
take a
to.
big
I'll take a
drink.
sip.
He'll guzzle it all in one sip. I love New Orleans, and I'm not just saying that because I'm in
can
New
get
Orleans.
behind it.
I think New Orleans should have a Super Bowl at least
Yeah.
once every 4 or 5 years. It's criminal that it took 12 years for the Super Bowl to come back. This is an awesome city.
I concur.
It's like 5 different cities crammed into one, right? And it's a great vibe. Everybody's
Right.
extremely friendly. The food doesn't even need to be mentioned. It's off the charts.
Incredible.
I love being here, and I hope it's not 12 years before we come back.
No doubt, Big Mike. It's my kind of spot, right? I mean, when you can walk down the street and drinky and smoky and nobody really cares, damn. You had me at hello, okay? You had me at hello, all right?
All right, let's take another question.
Hi guys, my question for you is, with the new kickoff rules and the way Nico Remigio has been returning it for the last 2 playoff games, can we see the first Super Bowl kick return for a touchdown, whether that be Remigio or maybe even Xavier Worthy in this game?
Right, all right. I doubt it. I don't think we're going to see it. I mean, I think this thing is staying, this new rule. We have seen
the
a
new
kick return
kickoff
in the
formation
Super Bowl.
is here to stay.
Right, but it's here to stay, right? Everything I've heard it is too.
If anything, what they're going to do next year, they might move the touchback point to the 35 to create a greater
make it
incentive
more.
to put the ball in play.
Right.
And they may, and I know you hate this rule, they may get rid of the onside kick and put in something like a 4th and 20 play to keep
I don't love
possession if
that.
you're behind.
I don't love
He
that.
doesn't like it, but that would be the only change. This new formation is here to stay. The injuries are down, the concussions are down. That's what they wanted. And the returns are up just enough that they're happy with it and they're going to stick with it. But they might move that touchback to the 35 to encourage even more returns.
I think we're still like infant stages of this whole thing, and like next year you'll see way better returns and teams start to go back and dissect what they did and go, hey, we could have done this and we were chicken that week and we didn't do it. It was in our game plan, and they'll start to break out little nuances that will make it different. So I'm happy to see it back, but I don't think we're going to see the big return in the Super Bowl, so don't be putting your money on that shit.
Which means, of
nothing,
course,
right?
the big return is going to happen on the opening kickoff.
Well, Tony
well,
almost done
maybe.
it last year, right?
What's that?
Well, Kadarius Toney almost done it
Where
against
are
the
you
Eagles last
from?
time. I'm from England, London.
You're
so.
England, London? Yeah. I love it. I mean, I literally wanted to say you sound like you're from London, but it's that.
Pretty much.
Thank you. You're the man.
One of the
Thanks
damnedest
so much.
things about our show on Peacock, it started like 5 or 6 years ago when Comcast ended up owning Sky. They started playing our show on Sky.
Oh.
And the people we have heard from in England, in Ireland, in Scotland, they are passionate.
They're here.
They are desperate for NFL content. They're so desperate they'll watch our show. That's how desperate they are.
With swears
NFL
that they're like,
content.
this is against our culture,
And it's
but
been
we like
live
football.
this
So.
week. Has not stopped him from swearing. If anything, it's encouraged him to swear even more.
We have gotten so many like bombs over Baghdad over there now. They said they're getting by the radar all the time now.
Nigel's
It's literally
watching the
just
soccer game and he's asleep at
and
the
they're like,
switch and
he's like,
not
what?
bumping it.
What? What's that word? Oh, bullocks. I missed it. Bollocks, whatever.
Bollocks.
There you go. Simsism. All right. Hello.
Nothing
I
like
had
the
to deliver
time.
one
nothing,
in person.
Nothing like the time that you deliberately said wanker.
Well, and that's what I mean. That's a swear word over there, and I'm still amazed by that.
right.
I don't know.
Another question.
Right.
What's up, guys?
What up, big guy?
Coordinators don't get a lot.
Introduce yourself and say your name.
Okay, I'm JC. I'm from Monroe, Louisiana. I'm a Saints fan.
What's up, JC?
Yep. Coordinators don't get a lot of talk for the Hall of Fame. If Spags were to win his 5th ring, would he be considered for the Hall of Fame as a coordinator?
You know, that's a hell of a question. Dick LeBeau got in ostensibly as a player, but his career as an assistant coach helped get him there. If he hadn't been an assistant coach, even though the voters will say it was only as a player, it was his career as a successful assistant coach that got him over the top. And yes, he was a head coach at one point, but it was the work in his assistant coach.
Exactly.
Spagnuolo was a head coach at one point. It didn't work out for a lot of reasons, unrelated to him, you could argue. The Rams were a dysfunctional mess at the time. But Spagnuolo, it's a great point. And this is one of the reasons why the Chiefs continue to stay good. The coaching staff doesn't get rated at the highest levels. You've got the same coordinators in place. Dave Tobe, excellent special teams coordinator. Steve Spagnuolo, great defensive coordinator. Matt Nagy, after failing as a head coach, back as the offensive coordinator. They keep doing that year after year, and you don't have, like, look at the Lions this year. They've been completely gutted as a coaching staff. The Chiefs never have to do that. And Spagnuolo, the master of coming up with big game plans and getting his guys ready to execute them. That's another very tangible intangible in this game.
Yeah, I agree with everything you say. I also think Andy's tactical enough to kind of read the room and go, hey, let me get old coordinator that nobody wants as a head coach anymore so we can keep the continuity here. Like, he's that smart. I do think Andy's smart enough to know that. I also think within Spags and the question, right? Spags, like, and this is, I do think, a very real conversation in the NFL circles with coaches and coaches that are in the Hall of Fame, and that should be a real thing. That we've had too many good coordinators in years past that are special to the game, won multiple Super Bowls, or lost Super Bowls. And you're like, why aren't they in? I mean, they went to the Super Bowl. You always hear me say Dan Reeves, right? I mean, he went to 5 Super Bowls. He had an awesome career playing football. He doesn't get to be in the Hall of Fame? I don't know. Damn, 5 Super Bowls? Holy shit, right? So, yeah, Spags, he should be in. And if they win, I don't even care if they don't win this weekend. He should be in.
I mentioned intangibles, and I think intangibles really do matter in this game. One of the realities that benefits the Chiefs historically, the bye week and Andy Reid's performance after having extra time to get ready.
Right.
But one thing I didn't realize until today.
I heard you say this
Sirianni,
today, and
the
I
Eagles
never heard
coach, is
this.
7-1 with 2 weeks. The only game he's lost with extra time was the Super Bowl 2 years ago to Andy Reid, the master of winning with extra time.
Yeah.
And Sirianni actually consulted with Reid 3 years ago about how you take advantage of the extra time. Does that bye week, does it become an advantage one way or the other, or is it a wash given that the Eagles have done as well quietly as the Chiefs?
I still give the advantage to the Chiefs in that department. They're just the ultimate tinkerers, right? Let me tink with this. Hey, don't show this. Just wait. Hold on. We're going to disguise it. Wait. You hear the snap count? Like, this is where you hear me say they're the ultimate gym rats. And I give the Chiefs the advantage in that department. I do. But it's not like the Eagles, again, are that deficient in it to where I go, oh, it's a huge advantage in this one.
Who's the most likely? Which team is the most likely to run a trick play?
Oh, it's incredible. You're right. I still think that's the Chiefs, too.
They always have those things that they trot out when you least expect it. But wouldn't that make it more effective for the Eagles to do it?
I don't know. I'm a believer in trick plays altogether in the NFL. One of the ultimate trick plays teams I ever saw, and really you can go back and look, was the New England Patriots. I used to go all the time, wait, they're the best team, they're winning the only Super Bowls, and they're the only one that has the guts to call a trick play every now and then in a big moment. Like, do it. You know, I mean, I came from that mind of thinking. I came from Bill Parcells faking a punt in the Super Bowl, or faking a punt in the NFC Championship game against the 49ers back in 1990, right? I think it's a Sean Payton. He's from that school of thinking. What did he do? Onside kick, second half. I think it's a lost art to a degree. I don't know why teams don't break it out tactically from time to time.
One of the other things, too, and we talked with Ron Rivera, the former Panthers and Commanders coach, about this earlier, how he's still haunted to this day by the loss in the Super Bowl 9 years ago to the Denver Broncos. You've said 20 years later, your one playoff game, lost to Washington, it still bothers you.
Right.
Jalen Hurts has spoken this week about wanting to get redemption. But Patrick Mahomes also said he remains haunted by the loss in Super Bowl 55. The
He was
only
going to
Super Bowl
find
they've
something.
lost. Right?
Yeah.
But still,
Yeah.
that stays with you.
Yeah.
Because if he had won that game,
Right.
Tom Brady would be at 6 and Patrick Mahomes would be at 4. And it would be a given he's going to catch Brady. Instead, now it's 7-3. But that fear of losing, who gets the edge more? You don't want to be the one who loses. They both felt that sting. Is that a wash? Or because it's the only blemish for Mahomes, does that give him a little extra drive? He doesn't want to live that again. He doesn't want to lose his opportunity to get another one as he tries to chase Brady.
Well, that's where the Chiefs are just so damn special. I mean, that's where it's like they find like this way and this enjoyment of climbing the mountain again. I mean, I'm watching a video the other day of they won the Super Bowl last year. They haven't got the trophy yet, and Patrick's walking around the podium going, "We got to get 3 in a row." And you're like, "Damn, you just won we got to get 3 in a row. You just won 2 in a row like 30 seconds ago." And he's already talking about that. That's where they're crazy. And that's where it's hard to gauge them sometimes. They're not a normal team. I don't know what to think about them. Like I told you last year, you don't play like shit on Christmas Day and then go, we were kind of B- all year, and then just go, it's the playoffs. Here comes A+ football. We'll win the Super Bowl. That doesn't happen. Never. Never. And that's where I just find them incredible. And they're an enigma that way, because in any other matchup, if everything that happened is advantage Eagles. That's my point. Eagles always have that advantage. But we've seen the Chiefs already overcome that with the 49ers, and they're just built a different way than most teams we've seen.
Some are suggesting that the Chiefs actually have a higher level, that they've been deliberately holding back, waiting for this game, that they've done just enough to win, and now it's time to put the pedal to the metal.
That's what's scary. Again, I would not bet money on this game. I would not. The Chiefs are scary. The Chiefs, to me, there's 2 very important parts of the football game. We know the end is clutch time, Kansas City. If it's close, watch out. Kansas City will probably win. The other thing of me in the game, and I think you heard me say this today, early on in the game, again, the Chiefs are going to be like, is it the Super Bowl? Are we? Oh, this is big. Oh, boom, 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 boom. Hey, touchdown. Oh, hey, Taylor. Hey, Taylor. You know, boom, boom, boom. Oh, touchdown. Hey, Taylor. Right? That's where they're crazy. And they're not going to be worried about that. And the Eagles are going to be like, oh, we want to get them back. We want to kill them. We're better than them. And that's, can the Eagles keep cool and just hang in there in the early part of the game? Because I think to what you're saying is the Chiefs are going to bum rush them early. They're going to bum rush them. They're going to come out going, we're so ready for this. This is no big deal. Here we go. And the Eagles are going to be like, Super Bowl. Well, like you hear all teams do.
I think it's normal and natural for the team that's trying to beat the Chiefs to have those feelings. We've talked about that as well.
Yeah.
It's going to be deja vu all over again for the Philadelphia Eagles to be out there on that field wearing the same colored jerseys. The Chiefs are in the same uniforms. We've been here before. We know this feeling of we have them and then we don't. And the Chiefs know, here it goes, and the opponent knows, uh-oh, here it goes.
Right.
And I think that's a real part of the psychology of the game that gets overlooked. The boss has a question.
Oh, okay, boss.
Matt from New York, first time, long time.
Unit or positional group? I think that it has to be the Chiefs' offensive line.
Where my mind went. It's where my mind went.
Which goes back to what are they going to do with Joe Tooney? What are they going to do with Mike Caliendo? What are they going to do to keep Jalen Carter from wrecking
They made
the
shirts
game?
after the last game, right? No sacks. The field had an issue. I don't care what anybody says.
The field was horrible.
Right.
It was an embarrassment.
There was no sacks. That was a big part of the game. The Eagles are better this time around. The Chiefs are lesser this time around. And I'm with you. I think there's some other things that are maybe a close second that we can get into. Like the Eagles secondary is going to maybe have to play some man-to-man and hold up and be able to do that, right? And cover Hollywood Brown and Xavier Worthy. That would be another, like my second one to what you're talking about. But I think you and me are on the same page there, Slugger.
All right. I think it's time.
Is it time?
I think it's time. Woo! It's time to make our picks for Super Bowl 59.
Yeah.
We're supposed to do something with the beads, but I forget what it is. What are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to grab the beads that we...
Oh, we're doing the beads? I did not.
Is that how we're revealing our picks?
I did not. What if we grab the same beads? We're going to hold hands and hold the beads together?
Like, are there multiple strands of the beads?
No, it doesn't look...
There are multiple
is.
strands.
Okay.
So you got red or you got green. So, all right, Killer. Do you want me to go first or do you want to go first? Who wins and why? Who wins and why?
Okay. All right. Well, let's go. Let's do a countdown then. Did you guys hear Pete's voice right there? Did you hear that? Right?
What are we going to do with the beads?
let's go count down.
All right.
And then we'll talk about the game.
All right.
All right.
Are you going to count us down? Are you capable of counting backwards?
I think let's let everybody hear Pete's voice on a 5, 4, 3,
Pete,
2,
lead
1.
us down. We can just do 3. Lead us down, Pete.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
He waited to see which ones I grabbed.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No.
He waited to see which one
I just wanted
grabbed.
to make sure he didn't, pull the old okey doke.
I was
all
holding
right?
the green beads as one last chance to put the Jedi mind trick on you. I got the Chiefs 27-24. Look, I've gone back and forth on this one. I even thought about doing the baby split 27-26 so the Eagles cover and the Chiefs win. 27-24, field goal win for the Chiefs. It's going to be close. If it's close, the Chiefs win. What's your score? Because if the Eagles win, it isn't going to be close.
I know, and I've gone back. Listen, I love the Chiefs in a lot of ways. I do, and I'm not even sure when I'm the kind of person that can pick. I've gotten to a point in my life where I can pick a game and go, wait, my mind wants there, but get into a drive a game and go, I'm rooting for the other team. I don't care that I picked them.
So you're going to root for the Chiefs?
I don't know that.
Okay.
I'm just making the point of I really like the Chiefs. I like what I'm seeing, and you know that I've had lots of interactions with Patrick Mahomes that he's a great person.
Oh, and
to
I'm
be
telling him
around.
you picked the Eagles.
Well, I know.
Oh, I will tell him.
But either way, I think the Eagles are superior in a point this time around, almost like the Bucs game, that they're not going to be able to overcome.
But they don't have Tom Brady.
I think it's going to be 38-28. It doesn't matter. They have another elite aspect of their team just like that is so elite that I think is going to put them in so many spots. And I believe that Jalen Hurts will learn from the first matchup and see a few of these things that we talked about tonight where he's going to go, wait, I remember this. They told me this the first Wednesday after the NFC Championship game, and I've gotten 10 reps. Here it comes. Black 58 toss up your butt, Joe Boo. Here it comes.
That's an actual play call.
Right.
From an official NFL playbook.
That's what's coming, and that's where I think between that and their offensive line and what they do poses a problem to me to the extent that I don't think this team, even as great as I think Spags are, and I don't think the Chiefs are as good up front, that I'm going 38-28. Philadelphia Eagles.
27-24 Chiefs, because look, we are standing on the brink of history in the National Football League.
Right.
The Kansas City Chiefs know their entire lives have been leading up to this moment. It is one game. It is 60 minutes.
Right.
It is the same team they beat 2 years ago. Yes, it's Saquon Barkley.
Right.
But do not pick against Patrick Mahomes. Will you agree with me if I'm right this time? You will not pick against Patrick Mahomes again.
I don't think if he wins this one, because first off, you know me, I'm still a believer in team in so much ways, and I think anybody that listens to my podcast, I'm that way. And this is the one guy that just continues to overcome that. All right, but what is this the color of? I know money. Okay. Crypt. Oh, that's another good one. You're right.
That's right. That's not what he was thinking about for a change.
Damn. Who are you and I like you? All right? Damn, you're the man. But it's kryptonite right here. Every team's got their kryptonite matchup they see every year in football. And I think the Chiefs have snuck by with, they're bored and they're clutch, but they're a little better than this team, and we can still squeak it out. This is the one team, it ain't going to go down that way. It will not. My only thing, you know what I've said, the audibles by Jalen Hurts, and don't play too much zone defense by the Eagles defense is what I would boil it down to. If you guys see that going on, I'm going to go, the Eagles are going to slowly wear them down and beat them up as this game goes on.
All right, those are the picks. I've got the Chiefs, he's got the Eagles. Please do not be foolish enough to rely on our advice if you intend to wager your own hard-earned money. But you can't go wrong. One of us is going to be right.
Yeah, we are.
One of us is going to be right. And Monday morning, you know I will be talking shit if the Chiefs win.
It was
and
tough.
I know you will be if the Eagles win.
It definitely was. And you wore an Eagles-colored sweater here to the party. I can't believe it.
Thank you so much for all your support of what we do, consuming the content at ProFootballTalk.com, watching Chris Simms Unbuttoned, PFT Live, PFT PM. Thanks for coming out. Thank you, New Orleans. We love it here. We hope to be back again and again and again. Enjoy the game Sunday. Enjoy your evening.
Peace out. Thanks for watching Chris Simms Unbuttoned. Hey, just because the season's over, it doesn't mean we're over. We ain't going anywhere. The NFL never dies.
We're staying right here. Hit subscribe. We got every NFL move. We'll react to that. Plus, Chris has got 4,719 draft prospect profiles to do.
Thanks again for watching. Subscribe. You know where to find us. Peace out, homies.